Hello, everyone. Welcome to Formula Sunday Season 6, Round 12, here in Spa-Francorchamps for the Belgium Grand Prix. Coming into this race, obviously, we are on a bit of a high with two podiums from the last few races, so confidence is pretty high. And coming into Spa, obviously, I am expecting to get a podium, possibly. I felt good in the quali runs and race runs. I am pretty comfortable too. So I have a feeling that if all goes our way, a podium is possible. On our first qualifying lap, as you might have seen in the background, we did a 42.355, which wasn't the best of laps. I did a 41.8 in quali runs, so I know that should be the benchmark to aim for. Second run, we did a 42.0, but now we are preparing for our third and final run here in qualifying, which was our best lap in this session. We are the final car to cross the line for our lap because I know that Rage Quit and Mexico haven't got a representative soft tire running just yet. Are trying to get to the line as well, but they did not make it. I can't confirm that. So we are the final car to get over the line to start the hot lap. La Source, the first corner was a decent exit now through Eau Rouge and Radion. Pretty easy to invalidate when you cut the corner a little bit too much there, but we managed to avoid it, and we are a bit up on our time. Nothing much, but it's still 200s up on our previous best time. As we go purple into sector one, I'm not too sure if it was actually purple or it was just a game glitching out. But anyway, we are up on our time. We gained chunks of time through the conjugate gain, and now into this hairpin, which I don't really like because it's pretty easy to lose the car exiting the corner right about here. Fourth gear, then into no name. Go back down to fourth, rev it out, then to fifth. Huon, you have to be careful not to touch this this curb on the inside because it kind of fling you over the track, but we managed to avoid it nice and easy as we are 2.5 tenths up on our time. The chicane here now, again, try to keep it in fourth gear, rev it out, and then go into fifth. Pretty easy to invalidate if you run a bit wide. Into Stabilos, again, don't run wide because it will invalidate your lap, and we are 2 tenths still up on our time, which is looking really good for that 41.8 that I was talking about, but there's still the third sector to go, and the bus stop, I didn't get the best of runs there on my second and at the moment best lap, but I have a feeling that we are confirmed pole because only two cars are left across the line, and Alfa Romeos aren't usually a threat to us. So through the bus stop again, we are 2 tenths, but it's going to skyrocket now. We are 3 tenths up on our time, and I think it was a 41 point something, but we shall see. We are pole position here for the Belgian Grand Prix, but we shall see what our time was. And it was a 41.6, so we actually did a better time than I did in my quali runs in practice. So it was a really good lap by us. Rage Quit didn't get a lap in for himself, and Meshik only got a only got a medium tire on him, but he's still in P5, so he can still be a threat on the alternative strategy. Crew unfortunately also did not get a lap in, so he's starting down in 13. But we are pole position. Not so much in second, Harrison in third. We have to be careful of not so much on the camel straight because he can get a good exit in La Source, the first corner, and pick up a toe and overtake us easily on the first DRS or on the camel straight. But we are now preparing for the 5 red lights ahead of us, 22 laps ahead of us. The lights are on and they're out. Lights out and away we go for the Formula Sundays Belgium Grand Prix. We got a decent start and into turn one, we sort of tried to block not so much in, so he wouldn't get a good exit or better exit than us. And now we are employing overtake mode and rich mix, so we could get a good launch through Eau Rouge and Radion. Not so Machine is about 5 tenths behind us, so I think it's a safe enough gap, so we could even close the overtake mode right about now. There you go. And just rich mix to the Lacombe again on the first lap. We are keeping our lead after the camel straight, which is crucial. We had a bit of a mistake here in at the Lacombe game, but it is all good. No problems whatsoever in there. And yeah, we just try to keep going and try to, if we possibly can, get out of the 1 second window from Not So Machine before lap 3, but it's going to be really difficult to do because it's mostly straights in here. And yeah, my setup seemed to be more focused on the second sector. I was a little bit slower than everyone around me on the straights, so I knew that it's going to be difficult to get out of the DRS window, and it could be even difficult to defend our position once the DRS gets activated. But we are doing our best still to get the gap up to Not So Machine. John Luke and Light Mystic, who are actually challenge drivers, are positions 3 and 4, so they are giving us a bit of a breathing space. So me and Not So Machine can run away from the rest of the pack, which is absolutely crucial for us because we don't want any surprises from the likes of Meshik and Rage Quit later on in this race. But we are now getting to the end of lap 1, and we are still ahead of the Red Bull of Not So Machine, which is absolutely amazing to see. As I've always said, as we nearly lost the car there, try to not lose any positions on lap 1, or at least keep the car intact, and we have done better than that. Lap 3 now, and we have not managed to get out of the DRS window, so now we have to focus on getting good exits in this La Source corner that we have done on this lap, and just get the gap up to Not So Machine as much as possible, so he couldn't get close enough with DRS to overtake us on the Camel Straight. As we're now using Overtake and Rich Mix, we were using Overtake a little bit to launch ourselves from Radion corner, and for this lap we are safe from Not So Machine behind, so nicely done this lap. But there's still about, I think, 20 laps to go, so we have to keep doing what we're doing now. End of lap 5, going to lap 6. You can see Not So Machine has already got a 3-second penalty, which is far from ideal for him. So this is giving us even more of a breathing space. Light Mystic, who's actually a really quick driver, has caught both me and Not So Machine up. So he's probably going to be in Elite 10 next season, and he's going to be a threat, to be honest. But again, we got a decent exit in La Source, as you maybe could see, and on the Camel Straight again, we have a nearly 8-10 gap to Not So Machine. He's not going to close that down with DRS, so we can breathe and live the fight another day, or in this case, another lap, to keep the lead away from Not So Machine. Lap 7 now, and we are going to pit at the end of this lap onto medium tires, which could be a bit of a risk because the medium tires will go over 75%, which is the puncture territory. But in 2 race runs that I did, we were fine both times when we pit on lap 7. So into the pits we go. Try to defend ourselves from the undercut. Also, we reacted to Rage Quit, who pitted on lap 6 onto medium tires. So that's basically the main reason why I did what I did. In the pits, we are P8 and we are 4 seconds, or were 4 seconds behind crew. But as you can see now, someone, I think it was Gorunda, but I'm not too sure, had a mistake in the Rouge Radiant section. And that, I do hope, is not going to bring us a safety car, because that would ruin our strategy. But as you're about to see there, virtual safety car has been deployed, and this has basically ruined our strategy. We pitted a lap early to defend ourselves from undercut, but now everyone in front of us can pit under the virtual safety car and gain 10 seconds on us, basically. In the final corner for us, the safety car, or the virtual safety car, is ending now. We were 1 second up on the Delta, but that's better than getting a driver penalty. Not So Machine has benefited a lot from this, and he's exiting the pits ahead of us. And let me see what the gap is. The gap is nearly 3 seconds to Not So Machine. Do not forget that Not So Machine has a 3-second track limit penalty, so all we really have to do is stay within 3 seconds, which we are doing right now. We had a bit of a wonky run through Rouge Radion, but we are still 2.1 seconds behind him. I think he's turned the engine down a little bit because we are gaining on him on the straights. But yeah, now we went from defending our lead from Not So Machine to being 2 seconds behind him. But lap 11 of 22, and as you can see there, unfortunate. No, Jeff, I don't think that was a good overtake. I don't really like celebrating mistakes from others, and I don't really like that Jeff said that to me, but it did help us out a little bit, and now we are in the net lead once again. But we have another problem in this race still, and that is Meshik on the alternative strategy. You can see he's 11.5 seconds ahead of us, and that could be a problem once he pits onto soft tires. He's only going to be like 8 seconds behind, which he can make up on the fresh set of tires, and that's exactly what he's done now. Lap 13, end of lap 13, and Meshik is in the pits, and basically our race will probably be decided depending on where and how far behind is Meshik going to rejoin. Kurtze in the Ferrari again has stayed out that 1 lap more, and we are 3.3 seconds behind. I don't think Kurtze is going to be a threat to us in this race, but Meshik definitely will be. It depends on where he's going to rejoin, and as we see there, he's only 7 seconds behind in 8 laps. I think that he's going to catch us up, definitely. Duncanu has got ahead of Meshik, but I think Meshik is going to overtake him straight away on the Camel Straight. It wouldn't make sense to Duncanu to keep him behind, and you can see now, end of lap 14, we have caught up to Kurtze even more, but Kurtze is pulling into the pits. Meshik is already 6.2 seconds behind us, which is a really strong indicator that we are going to be in trouble with Meshik, lap 15 of 22. And from now on, as you can see now, end of lap 17, the gap is only 3 seconds. We only have one track limit warning. I don't know what Meshik is on, but we are sort of safe on track limits. Lap 20 going to lap 21. Meshik is 1.6 seconds behind, or was 1.6 seconds behind. We basically have to prepare now for an attack from Meshik because he is coming, but the laps have run out for him, and now we are going to the final lap. We have one more extra problem, and that is tire wear. Meshik is 1.2 seconds behind, and it should all depend on if it's going to get into DRS onto the Camel Straight, but I don't think he is. But now we have to shift the focus from trying to keep ahead of Meshik to trying to save the tire wear, because as I said, this strategy is a bit of a risky one, and our tires, front left especially, is already on 76%, so we have to be careful not to get a puncture, because that can still ruin this race for us, as we have 2/3 of a lap still to go to get our second race win of the season. The race has been brilliantly managed so far. We have kept the lead, even with the virtual safety car. We were within 3 seconds of Nacho Machine, and after he spun off, we have kept the lead from there on, and now Meshik is only a second behind us, but I don't think, unless something really catastrophic happens to us, which, of course, we got a fucking puncture. Sorry for, yeah. We have got a puncture, and to make matters worse, we are spinning off as well. Got damage there, and we have to limp home with a punctured tire. We have been overtaken by Meshik, Rage Quit, and Duncanu. We have a gap to Kurtz. Good thing for us, everyone around us has penalties, so if we can somehow, I don't know, keep ahead of Kurtz, I think P4 is going to be all we can take, because Duncanu only has 3 seconds, and we're not going to keep within 3 seconds. Trying to take Punchman flat, but it's not going to happen. We are still somehow managing to keep the car relatively safe on the straight line, but as you can see, I think Ragegood had a spin over the line, so I don't know what happened there. We shall see in some time. Ragegood is there, and oh my god, we are somehow P3 as Kurtza spins into our back as well. Let's have a look what happened to Kurtza, to Ragegood and Meshik.
It has a time penalty, so I think Reich will be clean.
Oh my god, and Ragegood has spun on the finish line. Oh, and he actually loses P2 to dunk on you there. And Rage... Oh, Rage is coming through. What's happening?
So, Rage Quit spun over the line trying to get Meshik, and that lost him P2, dropping down to P4, and got us a podium, P3. I'm so gutted. And this, I think, is the first time I'm disappointed with a P3, even though our objective in the beginning of the race was to get a podium. But no, after how this race had gone, how well it had been to us up until that point, I honestly thought we can win this one. But Meshik takes the checkered flag ahead of Duncanu, ourselves on penalties P3, and Rage Quit in 4th after he spun over the line. Kurtz 5th, and Crew, our teammate, got a decent recovery up to 6th, which means that even after this race, we extend our lead ahead of Red Bull for 3rd place. I think Haas is going to lose out to Red Bull as well for 4th place, so we did extend our gap to Red Bull, which is honestly all I'm after. But yeah, yeah, didn't want to. I really wanted to win this race, but I mean, things happen. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.